Ms. Lisa Egard. Can I ask sincerely and frankly of you whether the inability of the staff in the network and ITT unit not to bring you up to speed with this incursion which took place on the 3rd of October. Can you share with this committee whether this inability to communicate with you as the former CEO by this particular section of TSTT, could that have been interpreted as an attempt to undermine the operations of TSTT? And I also have an additional rider to this because it is causing me some concern. And I would like you to be very frank and open because it is of concern to me. Was there, from your opinion as former CEO, a clear attempt by internal forces and external forces combined or working in unison to undermine the TSTT as an institution, as an operation? And you and Mr. Shiva Ramnarine were statistics in the process. But the overarching objective would be to undermine, compromise, subvert, and maybe just weaken this institution called the TSTT. I am not too sure. It is something that is bothering me.
So, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for that question. I will let Mr. Ramnarine opine. I think the answer to that question is really a matter for this committee to determine. My purpose here today is to simply provide the committee with facts and information as I know them. It is for this committee to draw inferences, come to conclusions as a consequence of the facts that I have presented. It may well be that you conclude that there's an inescapable inference that there was undermining taking place in the organization by the way the networks and IT team responded to this entire situation. But I would prefer not to make that comment myself publicly, but leave it for this committee to make such a determination.
Through the chair, honourable member, I will dovetail a little bit more on that conversation, and allow me some latitude. TSTT, when I joined shortly before Lisa Egard in her position as CEO, was a loss-making company. It had amassed almost $3 billion in debt by the previous CFO. So TSTT was looking for talent at that point in time, and I would extend it. It's not just a $3 billion debt. A $3 billion debt would accrue $300 million thereabout in interest. So you must understand that where the profitability of that company was going to go. At the same time, the company was losing about $1 billion in revenue, just by the nature of the industry. At TSTT, one of the first things, the first order of the day, was to look at the financials. And it was clear to me at that point, which I brought to the audit chair at that point in time in 2019, that TSTT was operating at a cash loss position, what you call an operating loss of $30 million on a monthly basis. That's $360 million a year. So there was no continuity for TSTT in the future. Harsh decisions needed to be made. The decisions that was taken at that point in time was a shock to the culture of TSTT. Simple decisions. What you hear in the public domain, in the utterances of the union, is that spending was cut. That's false. Spending was never cut. There was a robust process now to to manage spending. Vendors were brought in to negotiate their rates. Certain rates, and this is where I'm getting into the conversation, so please allow me the latitude. Certain rates, for example, $90 an hour. We brought in Ernst & Young to look at that. Ernst & Young said market rate is $50 an hour. Vendors' profitability moved down by $36 million. TSTT saved $36 million on that one transaction. Was there animosity between vendor, TSTT,